investor at a cost of 500 million shillings. In 2019, the previous county administration, I'm not talking of the current one, I'm saying the previous one. That's why I said I mean no ill will. The previous county administration officials allegedly orchestrated forceful eviction of the investor, leading to the destruction of the lodge's infrastructure within Meru National Park. The investor, a French national, had legally leased the land and invested in this facility. But because of local politics, the damage was caused. This gentleman went to court. The courts ruled in favor of the investor, awarding compensation for breach of contract and unlawful eviction. The matter escalated internationally when the French embassy raised concerns with our national government, highlighting the damage to bilateral relations and investor confidence. Ultimately, in May 2025, the national government intervened at a cost of hundreds of millions of shillings, shifting the burden to taxpayers and underscoring how local missteps can impose national costs. So I thought this forum would be important for me to make a passionate appeal to Kenyans in all our 47 counties and leaders in all our 47 counties that competition for foreign direct investment is absolutely essential for growth, for employment, for revenue. And if we do not respect the rule of law in those counties, we cause a lot of damage and the consequences can be very grave. So I wish to encourage that we take corrective action and ensure that investments in our respective counties are properly safeguarded. Finally, let me just talk to the issue that still remains a crisis across the board. And this is garbage collection, solid waste management. 12 years into devolution, we still grapple with huge heaps of waste, blight in our urban and rural landscapes alike, posing severe threats to public health, the environment, and indeed our national dignity. Let us look at this area carefully. Garbage is big business. It's big business. You all know it, your experts have told you about it. The question is, who is benefiting from this big business? Are we all losing? That, again, I pose as a rhetorical question to the leadership as we review our 12 years of devolution. Perhaps I may want to provoke the leadership of the Council of Governors. Perhaps, if it is not already there, perhaps we can introduce a rewarding innovation and sanctioning mechanism for counties that prove themselves in terms of waste management. Perhaps you can create awards where the resource allocation is increased if a county can properly demonstrate that they are able to deal with the solid waste challenge effectively, and those that may not be able to do so perhaps can be sanctioned so that they can also pull up their socks and not pull the other counties down. It might be, especially in this era of climate-related issues which are in vogue and which are important, maybe we should start looking for the green county of the year, the one that really steps out and is able to demonstrate that they are managing this particular challenge and in the process benefit from an elevated allocation during the revenue sharing mechanism. I'm speaking when I know there are legislators here, so perhaps they can refine this better as they reflect on some of these things. So I think I end there, but most important, devolution is and remains the most critical innovation within Kenya's constitutional framework. And whatever the challenges we face, I think it's important to acknowledge that the governors and their teams have made a difference in our society, and we challenge them to continue making that difference and making it even better as we go into the future. Thank you for listening to me. And now, I've been asked by the chair of the Council of Governors to request everybody to be upstanding so that we can usher in Umwami Raila Odinga so that he can come and give the final address. Kama kuna wimbo weka juu.
Thank you. Asante. Thank you very much. You may be seated. The Prime Cabinet Secretary, Anna, my friend, the Chairman of the Council of Governors, our host today, the Governor of the great country of Homa Bay, all governors who are here, all honorable members of Parliament, distinguished guests, now wana Homa Bay, hamjambo. Hamjambo. Osaure uru. Asante sana. I usually call my brother there Mwana wa Anna. And he has done a good job of introducing me here to this audience. I came earlier. I did not know that I was scheduled to talk at 5 o'clock. But I said, now that I'm here, because I'm here, I need to be given a chance to greet the people. So we are very happy that the county of Homa Bay is hosting this conference this year. Now, we've been here just a few months ago when we had a very electrifying Madaraka Day 2 months ago. And it looks like Devolution 2025 is not any different. I was very happy and pleased when I arrived here and I was taken to a park, just a small park in the Homa Bay, where this county is trying to remember a very great son of this county, the late Honorable Homa Bay. I was very, very pleased indeed, because Homa Bay is actually was the architect of the devolution. I myself was very passionate about devolution, but Mbai had understood it much better than anybody else. So when we went to Bomas of Kenya, because I had hired him as my consultant. So when we went to Bomas of Kenya, and the debate started in earnest, and then I asked the chairman to give Mbai a chance to address the audience. When he spoke that day in Bomas of Kenya, and he spoke for nearly 10 minutes without break. And by the time he finished, the whole hall backed into cheers, and they all cheered Mbai and said that that gentleman should be the chairman of the Devolution Committee. And that is how it became, that Mbai became the chair of the Devolution Committee. And as the chair of the Devolution Committee, he navigated very dangerous corners, because as you know, I've been mentioning several times that devolution had then, and even today, very powerful enemies. He was able to create proper benchmarks to be met. And because of that, he became a marked person. And as I've said several times, Mbai would not see the new constitution. In broad daylight, in front of his children, they moved in to his house and shot him and fatally wounded him. So it is fitting that today we are here actually celebrating this day in Homa Bay, not very far away from Mbai's home, right just next door here. And today I really want to make an appeal to the Council of Governors, because Mbai left a young family, young wife, and children. And if the Council of Governors can see it fit, that you get a kind of a fund, a small fund, you can just put in 5,000 shillings a month. That will go a long way to help the family of the little Mbai. It's an appeal. But then, let's get back to business. And let me begin by declaring a familiar interest. I believe in devolution. I believe in more, not less devolution. I believe in a balance of power between Nairobi and the counties. None should stand in the way of the other. I believe in strong county executives, oversighted by equally strong county assemblies. I believe in a Kenya that sees the strength of each of the 47 counties as the strength of Kenya. But let me say, county government are supposed to be oversighted by county assemblies, not the Senate. So therefore, it is unnecessary for Senate to be summoning governors to go to appear before senators in Nairobi. Only the public accounts and the public investment committees should summon not even governors, the chief executives of the county government. It's a waste of time, all the time summoning governors to come to appear before parliamentary committees. Centralism still has strong supporters, but I believe its days are in the past. Centralism comes with some bad habits. It thrives on keeping the whole country waiting for Nairobi to make decisions on very local issues that Nairobi knows little or nothing about. Devolution beats centralism at allowing local people to make decisions on local issues. Decisions affecting only Homa Bay should be taken in Homa Bay or any other country for that matter. Only decisions affecting the whole country should be taken by the national executive in Nairobi. I believe local policymakers bring more insight to local issues, are more likely to be more accountable, transparent, traceable, and named and shamed. But people are now looking for more than proximity. They are looking for performance, productivity, and partnership at every level of leadership. People want counties that are economic powerhouses, not mere administrative units. And you know, we're here because of historical circumstances. We had bigger units, you had regions which had what you call economics of scale. But enemies of devolution undermined that arrangement. Our focus must now be on leveraging devolution to achieve increased productivity and delivery of efficient and quality of services. Devolution for the people, for prosperity. People need more integration and coordination, not just between the county and national government, but also between counties. We want to see Wajir, for instance, having more collaboration with Garissa or Machakos with Kajiado, and complement each other instead of competing for destruction. So I want to share some reflections on how devolution can be revolutionized and how county and national governments can adopt and lead the country into an equitable future. A future in which we all accept that each part of the country is unique in its own way, has its own history, challenges, strengths, and ambitions. Only when all parts of Kenya pull together in one desired direction will we achieve prosperity for all. The counties are not equal or similar. Even this region, for example, you take Homa Bay, next door is Kisii, you see? And then the other door is also Migori. The three counties are not equal or similar. In Homa Bay here, they are like monoethnic. They can afford to talk the Luo Upper. Even the Suba speak the Luo. In Kisii, in Kisii they're also monoethnic. When you go to Migori, they are bilingual. There are Koreans there, and there are the Luos there. So you cannot speak Luo in an assembly in Migori. See, in Kisumu, next door, different from Homa Bay. Though they share the lake, Kisumu has an international airport. Kisumu has a railway line. Homa Bay does not have a railway line, does not have an international airport, and so on and so forth. So counties differ. So, where are we at this stage? Devolution is a process, not an event. It is about finding a balance between national and local aspirations. In this regard, we have made some significant progress. The most important step we have made is to make it the core principle behind devolution widely accepted. The principle of doing locally what is best done locally, and nationally only what is best done at the national level. But devolution must undergo continuous review and reinvention. The world is changing fast. So is Kenya. In 25 years from today, just from today, we will be in a Kenya of over 80 million people. Look at 25 years from today, it's just a turn of the century. And today is 25 years from then. From 25 years from now, we are going to have 80 million people living in this country. The eyes of our people will be on their counties. Our counties will either be engines of innovation or bottlenecks of frustration. The choice is ours, and we must choose boldly. We need to watch against the transfer of power and resources from Nairobi only for the same to be hoarded at county headquarters. We have to continuously ensure local communities access the devolved power and resources and have the power to decide where funding goes and how the services and projects are run. The formulation of county integrated development plans must therefore be more serious and truly consultative, not mere procedures. Those CIPDs, DPs, must also be implemented to the letter with much more regular references to the people. Needless to say, we have to cut the controlling hand of the national government. We must continuously push the national government to stop micromanaging counties. We must constantly fight off the national government's instinct to hoard power and resources. But let me be clear. References to national government's bad tendencies is not a call for a war between the two levels of government. In all devolved systems, getting money and power from either level is always a struggle. You have to treat the contest as an integral part of the strengthening of devolution and the reason for the two governments to build good faith. In fact, even as that task continues, I want to propose that there be some incentives arrangements between the national government and the counties, through which the national government will reward those counties that deliver the best services in areas like poverty reduction, youth unemployment, and environmental conservation. We need to come up with more transparent and independent performance reporting at the counties that gives the public more access to data that it can use to evaluate the performance of their county against others. That data will enable citizens to know, for instance, where it is easier to start a business, access healthcare, do farming, move goods to markets, etc., enabling our citizens to make informed choices in their socio-economic activities. We need a digital devolution in counties. County services, from business permits to healthcare appointments, must be accessible online, in real time, and in local languages. This should go a long way in fighting the scourge of corruption that is taking very deep roots in counties. Our counties must move from being consumers of transfers to producers of wealth through county-led industrial parks, energy autonomy through solar, wind, and small-scale hydro projects, and smart agriculture hubs, among other areas powered by technology. Our Constitution clearly stipulates that the two levels of government depend on each other, that cooperation should help us to do away with, not enhance, duplication that results in wastage of time, efforts, and money. Even as county and national governments cooperate, there must be more clarity on roles and responsibilities. Some confusion is beginning to creep in, and accountability risks being lost in the process. We must continue demanding that counties be granted full control over all devolved functions. But we must also demand to see what difference the counties are making in increased devolved resources and functions. At the same time, we need to bring more areas into the devolution fold. Our constitutional making was characterized by negotiations and give and take. To avoid a war, for example, with NAT, we only devolve early child development aspect of education. Because NAT had threatened us that if we devolve education, they are going to mobilize teachers to oppose the new constitution. And that's why education was not fully devolved. We must now break the cycle of managing our schools from far away in Nairobi. The time has come for Kenya to devolve education up to secondary school. It makes no sense to see a Minister of Education going to Marsabit, to Garissa, inspecting primary school structures or construction. It's a shame, because that is the work that should be done by the governor of the counties there. The time has come to devolve education. In the interest of efficiency and better service delivery, all money is currently managed by the NGCDF and NGAAF should be surrendered to counties. When CDF was formulated and promulgated, the people of Kenya were seeking an equitable distribution of natural resources, which had been denied through an imperial presidency. Most of the work here was basically left to Harambes. He wanted to build a tuition build block, Harambee, dispensary, Harambee, and so on. Since that time, everything in the system of governance has changed. We removed the patronage system in allocation of natural resources. We adopted devolution. We established a constitutional commission to allocate revenue between the national and county governments. We empowered the parliament on budgetary matters. Everything Kenyans have done to reestablish good governance has made the CDF system obsolete. It is serving no known role in the new constitutional architecture, and it is no longer relevant in the new constitutional dispensation. Indeed, the only thing this system does is to pervert the role of the representative of the people and to deflect their attention from duties placed upon them by the Constitution. The legislatures are elected to represent the people, to legislate, and to oversight the national government. It is not their business to be distributing bursaries or constructing classrooms, and so on. Those are the work of the county government. Well, the MPs are constructing roads, constructing schools and hospitals. The same goes for infrastructure development. There is no reason for Nairobi-based agencies to continue flying over counties and construct roads in our urban centers and within our counties. I strongly believe that time has come for the authority over urban and rural roads to be handed over to counties, while the national government manages international highways and national trunk roads. I was the Minister for Roads, Public Works and Housing. I'm the one who took the bill to Parliament to create KERA, KURA, and KENHA. But that was under a unitary system of government at that time. With a devolved system of government, there's no need for somebody sitting in Nairobi to be in charge of rural roads in Homa Bay or Kiambu or Lambu, for example. So this is an idea whose time has come. It does not make sense that some roads in Kisumu town cannot be managed by the governor of Kisumu. That somebody sitting in Nairobi called Kura who claimed those roads as his roads. The same thing in Mombasa, Eldoret, Nakuru, and so on. I know the better way to power this economy there's no better way to power this economy than to have major road construction works going on across all the 47 counties at the same time. I am well aware that some of these functions are currently not devolved and may require constitutional amendments to be transferred to counties. But through delegation of functions and legislation, we can get this work done and in the process take more power and resources and prosperity to the people. Finally, I want to address two other issues. One, the governors have mentioned it, that governors serve the counties and they can serve 1 term, 2 terms. I've got a number of governors who have served 2 terms. In Parliament, we did an amendment so that any member of Parliament who serves 2 terms is automatically entitled to a pension. Why can we not do the same thing to the governors? A governor who has served 2 terms needs to be entitled automatically to a pension. So this is a recommendation that should come from Homa Bay. And members of Parliament should seize this matter and go and move an amendment in Parliament. Okay? Second thing, corruption. And it is in all aspects of our lives. First, you talk about executive. It is rampant in the executive, not at county only, first at the national level. In the procurement and in revenue collection, that's where it resides. Revenue collection, these revenue officers, whether it be the customs officers, they be income tax, they be VAT officers, there's a lot of pilferage in that right. There's a lot of leakages. And then procurement officers. Again, here there's an area where there's a lot of pilferage. We're procuring so expensively You'll be told now you're building affordable housing, but at what cost? At what cost are you building the affordable housing? Yeah? And all that eventually is burden pushed to the taxpayer. So this is an area where we need to face these enemies of our society squarely in procurement and in revenue collection. The other area here is, and this is both at the national and at the county level. Then go over to the legislature. Again, it's domiciled in the legislature. A lot of money was being wasted by people who should be working productively, being summoned to appear before parliamentary committees. And you find parliamentary committees sometimes saying, we are cancelling this project. They're only doing that because they've been funded by a contractor who lost the contract. When there's a tender, there must be a winner. And once that the tender has been awarded, the contractors who lost will look for the member of parliament or an MCA, or the contract has been corruptly awarded. Then immediately they now summon the minister or the PS to come, and you want to investigate this. They shout a lot make a lot of noise, but basically they are being paid by the losing contractor. And they've been doing this, you find the contract has been properly awarded, it's suspended, it's cancelled, and you know the financial year is very short. By the time you awarded the contract, it is September. If somebody goes and suspends it, you will be into the new year. The whole financial year is wasted, money is not spent. So Parliament must also be brought on board properly, because Parliament is also actually impeding implementation of government projects by being corrupted by contractors. And then, you know, come over to judiciary. Judiciary is also not blameless. When some people tell you that I don't, rather than wasting my money in hiring a lawyer, I'd rather bribe a judge, and I will get whatever I want. A criminal, somebody that committed a crime, when he's supposed to be arrested, rushes to court, and when they go to court there, gets an order to stop him from being arrested. So the judiciary is a major impediment also. So the corruption resides also in the judiciary. And you come down to the private sector. The private sector is also not blameless. The private sector is where there's competition for contracts, and the ones who now go and bribe the executive, they also bribe the legislature and so on. So there's always a giver and a taker in a corrupt deal. So the private sector is also not blameless. The media is also not blameless here. The media is very much deeply involved. If you see the media saying, oh, we are exposing corruption here, they have been paid. But we have done a professional investigation exposing corruption in the legislature, or in judiciary, in the executive. They themselves have been paid to do what they're doing. So the media is not blameless in this one here. So we need to deal with this issue squarely by looking at this animal called corruption, the face, and dealing with it. That's the only way that our country will be able to move forward. I thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much. Right Honorable Prime Minister, we kindly request you to remain up on stage. We have a gift for you from the Council of Governors, which will be presented by the Chair of the Council of Governors and the Vice Chair, who's also the Chair of the committee that organized this year's Devolution Conference. There will be a second one from the county of Homa Bay. This is from the Council of Governors, being presented by the Chair and the Vice Chair of the Council of Governors. Tupige makofi tafadhali. Thank you. The second gift, Right Honorable Prime Minister, the second gift is from the host county of Homa Bay. And as you can see, all Homa Bay people, please piga makofi as we present your gift to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Asante sana. We are then going to have a quick session of photos, and I'd like to request all the governors present to please come up on stage, all the governors present to take a photo with the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Also, kindly, I'd like to ask, they'll be taken outside.
Your Excellency, with your permission, we could conclude with the national anthem, Your Excellency. And I do request that when you go back to where you're seated, we all be at attention for that. And Your Excellency, only Your Excellency, Dr. Odinga, to go up on stage for that. It is very important for our optics. Francis, kindly assist. Assist Francis. Thank you. Thank you. Francis, assist me with the headgear as well. And may I request that all unofficial headgear be dressed down. National Anthem of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you. The photo session will take place in the official photo booth as you exit. May we accord His Excellency Dr. Odinga another round of applause for those great words of wisdom. Latif.
Asante sana Bage. Ladies and gentlemen, our side events will be taking place shortly. In fact, they begin immediately in all the side event tents. We have 13 side events that are taking place now. We have some side events that are taking off now in all the side tents. Please make your way to all the side events. Plus, remember, tomorrow morning we begin with side events as early as 8 a.m. So we come in for the side events as early as 8 a.m. For now, side events taking place, and they can take place until whenever the sessions decide to conclude, depending on the vibrancy of the conversations that will be taking place in there. So they take place from the main hall, this one. There's a side event that will be taking place here. And then we have tents 1 to 12. Here we'll be having the Africa Urban Lab session, Rethinking Urban Expansion, Planning the Periphery for Equity and Inclusive Growth. Please let's attend all these side events. They are very, very important, very, very good conversations taking place. Remember, tonight at the Governor's Park, the county of Homa Bay is hosting dinner. And the governor has invited all of us to attend that dinner tonight at the Governor's Park. Tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. we begin with the side events, all of them taking place in the various designated tents. There'll be 10 side events tomorrow morning. There are 13 side events taking place now. Now, if anybody has lost the keys for a very big car, and there are very, very many keys, you can look for the... You're saying they're yours. You will have to come here with a lot of evidence of what we ought to know about the keys. So let's attend the side events. See you in the tents. Tent number 1 to tent number 12, and this main hall, which will be hosting the African Urban Lab conversation on rethinking urban expansion. Tent number 1, Proximi Limited. Tent number 2, Food for Education. Tent number 3, GIZ on financing resilience of cities and communities. Tent number 4, Pan-Africa Climate Justice Alliance. Number 5, Technology Service Providers Association of Kenya. Tent number 6, ECD Network. Number 7, Center for Fiscal Affairs. Tent number 8, Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa. Tent number 9, the National Construction Authority. Number 10, State Department for Trade on unlocking county trade potential. Number 11, AMREF. Number 12, the State Department for Public Health and Professional Standards. All those conversations taking place from now in the side tents. Tomorrow morning, we convene here for the side events as well from 8 a.m. Yes, sir. What is the unique feature about the key? Phoebe.
One of a kind. Janabi.
First reading. A bill for an act of parliament to establish the Kenya Judiciary Academy to give effect to Article 172(1)(d) of the Constitution to provide for the management, functions, and powers of the Kenya Judiciary Academy and for connected purposes. Order number 11, special motion, consideration of nominees for appointment as chairperson and member of the National Police Service Commission.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Administration.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that, taking into consideration the finding of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security in its report on approval hearing of the nominee for the position of the chairperson and the member of the National Service Commission laid on the table of the House on this day, Thursday, 14th August 2025, and pursuant to the provision of Article 246(2) and the 250 of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, approve the appointment of the following nominee: the chairperson and the member of the National Police Service Commission, the chairperson being Dr. Amani Yuda Komora, PhD, MBS, as the chairperson. 2, Ms. Angelina Yamiton Siparo, EBS, as a member. Honorable Speaker, the nomination of the two was conveyed to the Speaker's office on the 25th July, together with their curriculum vitae and testimonial and the report of the selection panel, which was attached to the same. And pursuant to the Standing Order 42, on the 5th August, the Honorable Speaker conveyed the message from His Excellency the President to the House on the nomination of the two for the appointment to the position said. The names of the nominees were referred to the Departmental Committee for the approval hearing. Upon conclusion of the hearing, the committee was required to table its report to enable the House to consider the matter within the statutory timelines. Consequently, in fulfillment of the provision of Article 118 of the Constitution and the Section 64 of the Public Appointment Act, Cap 7F, and the Standing Orders 47.3, the Clerk of the National Assembly on the Wednesday the 6th notified the public through the print media and the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security that will conduct an approval hearing for the two on the 3rd Wednesday, yesterday. Honorable Speaker, further in accordance with the Section 6.9 of the Public Appointment, Cap 7F, the Clerk of the National Assembly placed an advert in the print media on the Wednesday the 6th, inviting the public to submit their memoranda by the way of writing statement on oath on the stability or otherwise of each of the nominee in accordance to the Public Appointment Act. The public and the advertisement indicated the submissions were to be received by the 12th Tuesday by the closure of that was on the 5th, 5 p.m. Further, on the 6th, the Clerk of the Assembly wrote to the letters to the ODPP, EACC, KRA, HELP, DCI, political parties, in reference to the background check relating to the stability of the said nominees. Honorable Speaker, the nominee appeared before the committee on the Wednesday 13th for approval hearing in accordance with the provision of the Constitution and the National Police Service Commission Act, Cap 85, and the Public Appointment Act and the National Assembly Standing Orders. During the approval hearing, Honorable Speaker, the committee considered the provision of the Constitution, Section 5 of 6 of the National Police Service Act, and the public appointment, and the nominee filled their questionnaires and their curriculum vitae, academic credential, professional training, experience, personal integrity, and the background report from relevant authorities and oral submission by the nominees, and made the following observation. The nominees were nominated in accordance with the provision of Article 246(2) and 252 of the Constitution and the Section 65 of the National Police Service Act, and the nominees are Kenyan citizens in conformity with the Article 78 of the Constitution and Section 5 and National Police Service Commission. They submitted not to participate in any gainful employment in serving as state officers as required by the article and in accordance with the Article 772 of the Constitution, Section 5 of the National Police Service Commission, and the schedule of the Public Appointment Act 7, none of the nominees holds an office in any political party. The nominees demonstrated compliance with Article 75 and 76 of the Constitution on the conduct and financial probity of the state officers. They indicated non-existence of potential conflict of interest and committed to declare any should it arise. By the said deadline of the receipt of the memoranda, Honorable Speaker, from the members of the public, the committee had not received any against any of the candidates. The committee, however, received a recommendation letter from the Women Challenge to the Challenge organization supporting the nominee of Ms. Angelina Yamiton Siparo. The nominee met the requirement of Chapter 6 of Constitution, leadership and integrity, having obtained clearance from the relevant statutory bodies. The nominees demonstrated deep understanding of the topical administrative, technical issues touching on governance, the role of the chairperson, and the member of the National Police Service Commission. Honorable Speaker, and during the approval hearing, Honorable Speaker, I want to confess that the members of the committee were so impressed with the credentials of the said nominees, and even how they presented and demonstrated their ability to steer the National Police Service Commission forward, especially considering the turmoil between the kind of tug of war and push between the National Police Service Commission and the NPS currently. And to be in particular, Honorable Speaker, I want just to highlight a bit the position of the chair, which is Dr. Amin Yuda, PhD, comes from Tana River, from the Pokomo, a minority and marginalized community, and is a distinguished human resource management professional with an extensive academic and professional credentials. He earned a PhD in human resource management from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and a master's in human resource management and a Bachelor of Arts in anthropology, sociology from the University of Nairobi. He holds a diploma in human resource from Institutes of Personal Management acquired in 2002-2000 and is a certified human resource professional, certified in 2024. He has served in several institutions, both private and public. Honorable Madam Speaker, he has been served in very senior positions in this republic, one notably being the vice chairperson of SRC, where he has really helped the SRC to achieve major milestones from the year 2018 to 2024. And to prior to that, he was a general manager of human resource administration for the same. From 2012 to 2018, He worked as a human resource manager at Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. And it's notable to also mention, Madam Speaker, that he has actually demonstrated the issues of ethics and morals, not just when he worked there, but even throughout his career life as a civil servant. And he managed really to demonstrate so when we followed his track record during his career progression. In his earlier career, including service at the Kenya Revenue Authority, he rose from management trainee to a senior human resource and a public relations officer. He worked as a project officer at the East African Wildlife Society. And I've got no doubt, Madam Speaker, and the committee were equally convinced that Dr. Yuda is fit for the job, especially coming at such a time also when the National Police Service Commission, jointly with the NPS, anticipating to carry one of the biggest recruitment of our police officers, possibly next month. On the part of Angelina Siparo, EBS, Ms. Siparo is a seasoned professional in counseling psychology and a public health policy. And she also hailed from Narok, and actually in particular, minority subclan of Syria community within the Ma community. She holds a Master of Arts in Counseling Psychology and a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, both from the United States USIU, with a master's degree completed in 1993. She has also undergone specialized training in corporate governance and worked in several NGOs, and like you said, where she was like award management and strategic leadership in HIV and AIDS program. She held numerous leadership roles across regional and international organizations. Most recently, she worked as the Young African Leaders Initiative, YALI, from the 2023 to early 2025. And prior to that, she served as the project team leader at the Africa Union and Africa CDC. She was also the chairperson of the AIDS Council, NASCOP. From the year 2015 to 2021, she was the Senior Eastern and Southern Africa Regional Advisor and a Kenya Country Director at the Population Reference Bureau. She also serves as the Country Director for the Catholic Medical Mission Board from the 2012 to 2025, and as a Regional Manager for the East African at the Health Policy Initiative and the Futures Group International. And she has also worked extensively as a consultant for organizations such as the Women Rising International, Yamaya Health Advisory Population Reference Bureau, UN Women Action, Africa Help International, Catholic Medical Mission Board, International Relief and Development, and ActionAid International, focusing on governance and human resource, HIV and AIDS, and gender-based violence. Her board and advisory roles are extensive. She is the current chairperson of the Ma Women Network and a trustee of the Frontline, and has served as the board of the Moi Girls Nairobi and Narok County River Economic Forum. Madam Speaker, you can't exhaust the rich experience of the two distinguished Kenyans who had been considered for nomination in this position as the chair and the member of the National Police Service Commission, respectively. And Honorable Madam Speaker, it is also notable to note that just recently, last month, this House did approve the 3 members who had earlier been already in office, working in the National Police Service Commission. And the 2 will join a team of professional, committed, and passionate Kenyans who are, I'm sure, Madam Speaker, they are so prepared and committed to serve this country diligently, as they have already demonstrated in various categories that they served this country before. Madam Speaker, I earlier mentioned that these 2 members are coming at a time when the National Police Service jointly with the NPS, are preparing to undertake the recruitment of 10,000 officers, both including the constables and cadets. And of course, there's a whole big question of whether to do it digital or still go the manual. And we have no doubt that the two will add value and will actually enrich the experience of already the commissioners who are already in office. Madam Speaker, I want just to be honest that these are extremely experienced and qualified members to serve in this position. And Madam Speaker, I want to conclude by saying, Madam Speaker, the committee having held approval hearing of the nominee regarding their stability and pursuant to Article 250 of the Constitution, Section 6 of the section of National Police Service Commission Act, and the public.
You have switched off the chair.
Yeah. What is happening?
Go on.
Okay,
Honorable.
just the gadgets, no problem. I'm actually winding up. The committee, Madam Speaker, the committee recommends the National Assembly approve the nomination of the following as the chairperson and the members of the National Police Service: Dr. Amani Yuda Komora, PhD, MBS as a chairperson, and Ms. Angelina Yamiton Siparo, EBS as a member. And Honorable Speaker, with these few remarks, I beg to move. And I now request the Honorable Retired Colonel Dido Raso to second this motion. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Before Honorable Raso, given the high traffic in our galleries, allow me to recognize students and learners in the public gallery, Kiandieri Secondary School from Kirinyaga Central, Kirinyaga County, AIC Visa Oshual, Baringo Central, Baringo County, CCM Ruerigo Primary School from Tharaka Nithi County, and in the Speaker's Gallery, Kiambala Primary School from Molo, Nakuru County, and Tayari Primary School, Molo, Nakuru County. On behalf of the House, we welcome all of them to observe the proceedings of the House. Honorable Dido Raso, you can go ahead to second the motion.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to second, and I want to say as follows. Both Dr. Amani Yuda Komora and Ms. Siparo will be, if this House approves, will be the members of the National Police Service Commission. This actually completes the circle of the National Police Service Commission that already has 7 members. With these 2, it makes the complete remit of the 9 members that is stipulated in our Constitution. Honorable Speaker, our Constitution, Article 246, says as follows, that the composition is a person who is qualified to be a judge of the High Court, 2 retired senior police officers, 3 persons of integrity who have served the public with distinction, IG and 2 DIGs who represent the AP and the National Police. The purpose or the work of the National Police Service Commission is cut out in this part of the Constitution. To recruit, to confirm appointments, determine promotions, transfers, exercise disciplinary control, and also remove individuals from appointments if they so this fit. Madam Speaker, the composition of the National Police Service Commission from our committee actually reflects regional and ethnic diversity. If you take all the 9 members, actually they come from different regions, and also they represent different ethnic groups who live in the land called Republic of Kenya. Madam Speaker, the committee also went through the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, the issue of consideration. What were the issues? Any constitutional or statutory requirement, suitability of the nominees, their abilities, the experience they will bring to the National Police Service Commission, and also qualities. As my chairman has ably extolled, we as committee, we were convinced beyond reasonable doubt that these two individuals will add both experience, knowledge, and they bring fresh commitment to the National Police Service Commission. Finally, Madam Speaker, we expect the National Police Service Commission, the National Police Service, and IPOA going forward to work together seamlessly to provide service to the people of Kenya. With those remarks, I beg to second. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, Honorable Ngogoyo, you are totally out of order. Freeze where you are. Honorable members, allow me to propose the question that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security in its report of the approval hearing of nominees for appointment as the chairperson and member of the National Police Service Commission laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 14th August 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 246(2) and 252 of the Constitution and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following nominees as the chairperson and member of the National Police Service Commission. Number 1, Dr. Amani Yuda Komora, MBS, as chairperson. And number 2, Ms. Angeline Yamiton Siparo, EBS, member of the commission. Honorable member for Marakwet East, Honorable Bowen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support my good friend, the chair of National Administration, the Honorable Tongoyo. And I want to appreciate him together with the committee for this report, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to support the appointment of Dr. Amani Yuda Komora as the chair of National Police Service Commission and the Commissioner Angeline Siparo. Madam Speaker, the National Police Service Commission is very important. In the management of our National Police Service, as provided for in our Constitution, they are supposed to recruit and manage our policemen. Madam Speaker, it is a very important commission for our country. Though we saw in the recent past the wrangles between the commission and the Inspector General. And Madam Speaker, as a